Bottling Company. We are both a distiller and importer based out of San Francisco, California. And I'm here at Ball Square Fine Wine and Spirits today to show you how to make both a classic old fashioned, and then we're also going to make a variation with a split base using one of our rums as well. The base ingredient for this cocktail today is going to be Hirsch's The Horizon Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is a bourbon whiskey that we just recently reintroduced into the market, and it is a beautiful sipping whiskey that has traditional notes of vanilla and caramel, but also has nice tropical fruit notes and a little bit of coconut, which is something that I really love myself. And while it's an incredible sipping whiskey, it also makes a beautiful cocktail, which I'm going to make for you now. Alright, so to start out to make this old fashioned, I'm going to start out by putting the bitters in the glass first. So first I'm going to do 2 dashes of orange bitters, as well as 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Those are nice aromatic bitters. You can find other brands, but Angostura is a classic. Then you also want to have a nice simple syrup. We have a nice demerara simple syrup here as well, and I'm going to use half an ounce of this. Typically I like to use the ingredients backwards. Normally you think about a recipe and you think about the whiskey first, and then the other ingredients. But in case I make a mistake, I like to do it with these ingredients, which are less expensive first. It's a habit I've picked up behind the bar, so that if I have to toss it out, I'm not wasting product. And then I'm going to take 2 ounces of Hirsch's The Horizon whiskey here for this classic old fashioned. Next I'm going to fill this up with ice. You can use whatever ice you have at home. It'll work just fine. You might just have to account for a little bit different timing on the stirring as well. So the classic old fashioned was first noted back in the 1860s. The history of it is a little bit muddled because people were drinking when they're making these cocktails and they weren't exactly keeping stellar notes. But it is a beautiful cocktail that sometimes you will see a muddled sugar cube instead, which is the very first recipe you'll ever see for an old fashioned. But you don't have to do that, you can just use a simple syrup. Or if you'd like to take the sugar cube and soak it with the bitters, that's also a beautiful way to muddle up the sugar cube and then add a dash of water before you start adding your whiskey and stirring everything else as well too. Alright. So once you have that stirred up, you need to strain it into your glass. So we have a beautiful glass here with a nice big cube. If you don't have a big cube mold at home, don't worry about it. You can use whatever ice you have. I would use a little bit less just because smaller ice cubes are going to dilute a little bit quicker. When you have a larger ice cube, it dilutes a lot slower, and so it's not going to add too much water to your glass itself. I'm going to strain that over that beautiful large sphere cube there. And then traditionally you're going to garnish this with some orange zest as well as a cherry. So I'm going to take a nice orange swath. I'm going to zest it right over the top, make sure we get those oils right over the top of the drink. And I'm also going to take that orange peel and I'm going to rub it right around the rim so that when you take that sip, in addition to the aroma, you also get those nice oils right on your lips. We can drop that right into the drink. And then of course we need to garnish with a Luxardo Cherry as well too. Cheers. So for our second cocktail, we're going to make an old fashioned with a split base of both Hirsch's The Horizon and also Denizen Merchant's Reserve 8-year rum. So the Merchant's Reserve 8-year rum from Denizen is a blend of rums from both Jamaica and Martinique as well too. So it's going to beautifully give lots of estery, floral aromas to this cocktail. So for this cocktail, we're going to stick with the same 2 dashes of orange bitters as well as 2 dashes of aromatic bitters. In this instance, we're actually going to cut the simple syrup back a little bit, the demerara syrup, so we're going to only use 1/4 of an ounce here. Just because the rum is a sugarcane base, so it's going to have some inherent sweetness in it, so we don't want to make a cocktail that's overly sweet here. Now we're going to actually split the base ingredient here. So instead of 2 ounces of just Hirsch's The Horizon, we're going to do 1 ounce of the Denizen and 1 ounce of the Hirsch as well. And we're going to stir this up the same way we did before. So the reason you want to stir an Old Fashioned is because it makes a lot smoother and more delicate cocktail. It's all about the mouthfeel. So if you have a cocktail that has syrups, heavy syrups or citrus juices that need to be incorporated and aerated into the cocktail, that's when you want to shake a cocktail. But when everything is all spirit based or just spirits and bitters with a little bit of sugar in there as well, you just want to go ahead and stir that cocktail. You want to get a nice velvety smooth mouthfeel on that Old Fashioned. So now we're going to go ahead and strain this over another large cube. Again, if you are using regular ice from home, you might just want to use a little bit less because of the dilution. You see that beautiful velvety texture that I was talking about. And then we're going to go ahead and garnish the same with an orange zest and then also some Luxardo cherries. So in this instance, again, we're going to zest over that orange peel, get all that oil out, and also put it around the rim of the glass. And then this time I went a little bit fancier with the garnish, but all in the same, it's an orange peel with some Luxardo cherries. Cheers. Thanks for watching our video today with a classic Old Fashioned and a variation utilizing Hirsch's The Horizon and Denizen Merchant's Reserve. Ball Square Fine Wine and Spirits has cocktail kits for both of these cocktails available. You can buy them in store or you can also purchase them online. You can click on the link in the description or go directly to their website to make the purchase. Thank you for watching again, and cheers.